What's up, faithful? Welcome to the East Coast Red and Gold podcast. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Alston, Maddie B, Niner Lady Dina, and we have special guest Coach Yak tonight. What's up, guys?
What's
How you
up?
doing?
Hello.
How's it going?
Coach Jack, welcome, brother.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. It is Wednesday, April 8th. Before we get started, we are brought to you by Faithful Gear. Get your customized Niners gear made for the faithful by the faithful at faithfulgear209.com. All right, it's Wednesday, April 8th. We are just about 2 weeks away from the 2026 NFL Draft. And will we have a resolution with Trent Williams? Coach, what do you think?
Yeah, we'll get that. I don't know if it's going to be before the draft, though. I mean, he likes to take his good old time, and as we know, the longer it waits, the better it is for the team because they can offer him basically whatever they want, since nobody will be looking to take on Trent and his salary. So I just don't want it to trickle into training camp like it did a couple years ago, and he basically it was an injury season for him. I mean, once you get up there in age, you do have to get out on the field and get your feet back under you. So we'll see, though. I mean, they should have everything done by end of July. I would be surprised if it's before April's draft, though. So,
Well, I think last week at the owners' meetings, somebody, I don't know if it was reported, but they said that was like their deadline, so to speak, is the draft.
that's perfect world, but
True.
they're not in a rush. There's no rush. I mean, I just think what's going to happen is I think they're going to draft an offensive lineman fairly early, although I don't want one, which sounds crazy, but I think they're going to draft one early and basically throw it out there and say, all right, we're prepared to move on eventually, Trent, so you can take your sweet old time and taking what we're having to offer you, but I get Trent's side. He wants guaranteed money. So, but
I know Jason LaConfora is reporting that the Chiefs are sniffing around.
listen, I post a lot of his shit, and he makes up a lot of stories. So whatever is out there, whatever's posted, whether it's on my thing from him, it's just out there, right? So, I mean, I wouldn't really take anything that he says. I saw that the Chiefs are looking at him. Nah, I don't buy that.
You have a better hit rate playing the lottery than anything that he posts.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I've got for you.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. He kind of got lucky. What was it when we opened up free agency, right? He had his story posted. It came out, and it was, Adam Schefter posted the news about Trent Williams and the team and all that. So it came within a couple hours apart. But again, it's I don't buy anything that he says, really. It's just news out there. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Captain says minus someone throwing out a stupid amount, Trent will sign right before camp.
I can see that.
Yep.
I can see that.
I don't know. I just, Trent's up there. I just, he obviously it's, the OTAs are voluntary, but he's a captain. He's a leader, one of the leaders of the team. And, being that he's up there in age, you kind of, I don't know. I kind of expect him to be there because
he was there last year.
What's that?
He was there last year.
Yeah.
I posted that, I think it was 2 days ago, whatever, and somebody's like, he's never at OTAs. And then I just flipped up last year's post and attached it to his reply. So he was there last year. But, I mean, they're going to have a high turnout like last year. I don't believe Trent will be there, but again, it's not the end of the world. You know, it's OTAs,
No.
whatever, but it's
Right.
you know, it's not even really, but it's a workout. They're going to go there. They're going to lift weights. You know, they're going to go over film.
Mm.
You know, and that's basically I think
That's
it's
it.
2 weeks. It's 2 weeks, but I don't think Kyle keeps them for the 2 weeks.
No.
Yeah.
So
What's up, Sam? All right. What's your take on our DC Raheem Morris?
I like him. He's like, you know, I mean, he'll show a couple different fronts. I like that he's aggressive, but I mean, no matter what was going to happen, it was going to be a step down from Salah. You know, whoever we were most likely bringing in. So it was just like, you know, I mean, he's a high energy guy. So that's, you know, it's a plus. Our guys feed off that. As you could see, they didn't like Wilkes when he was here because he was a booth guy, right? They wanted him down there. And, you know, a lot of people think, you know, I mean, we got several guys that feed off of that energy on the sideline. So, you know, I personally, you know, I liked Wilkes. I didn't give a crap that he was up in the booth. I thought he was really, really good with the secondary. You know, I mean, I know he catches a lot of shit, and I post stuff about, you know, I mean, he definitely did play scared in the overtime against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But you know, overall they did a really good job in the Super Bowl up until overtime. But he's really good. He was hands on with our secondary. Really helped out Lenore and Ward. You know, and the back end with our safety. So he did a good job there. But he wasn't that motivational guy. You know, they needed that with Rhines. They had that there and Salah and all that. So more so fill that void. That's, you know, that wasn't there with Wilkes, like obviously, but we got it with Salah again. So that'll be good. He'll change his fronts, and I think you know, I think a lot is going to tell us with the draft too, to see what we get in the 4th round or possibly the 1st round with an edge, see what he wants to do. But we're going to need one more sack specialist, I'd say. You know, not somebody, you don't want the same mold as what we got with Mikael Williams. He's the kind that gets on the edge, and then he's going to come inside. You're going to go back and forth, and he's better inside, as you guys know, at rushing the quarterback. You want a guy that can stay on the outside, that can really pair up on the opposite side of Bosa. 2 guys pin their ears back and coming off the edge, right, on passing down. So you want that. You want to bump Williams inside, and we'll see what we'll do. I mean, Collins isn't a guy that you're going to put inside on passing downs. CJ West has, you know, some kind of, you know, he showed flashes that he can get to the quarterback. But, I mean, if we're being honest, all 3 of our rookies last year, to me, didn't show anything like this guy's going to be really good. I mean, that's just my take. I looked at they're going to be like, all right, they're going to be decent. Collins is going to be a big body. We never expected him to be anything other than a run stuffer. West showed signs of, you know, he showed signs of twitchy quickness. But again, you know, you know, I don't know what, like, if you had to forecast what West is going to be for us, what's he going to be? A 3 or 4 sack guy? Is he going to just be a rotational body, but not somebody that's going to be a 3-down lineman? You know, Williams will be that because he can play inside and outside, and he can stop the run. He's a bigger body, but you still need that guy off the edge. So if there's somebody there at 27 that can fill that role, that would be ideal. I think personally, I would like to go edge 27. If the edge isn't there, then I would like to trade out of the 1st round. Okay, I mean, I don't necessarily think you have to go with a wide receiver there. I know Kyle's going to want to get that early as well, but I think they ultimately want to do is they want to recoup that 3rd round pick that they lost in the trade. So I could see them dropping from 27th to maybe 10, 15 picks later, getting that 3rd round pick back, and then maybe go edge, go wide receiver, and probably an offensive lineman with your first 3 picks from the 2nd round on. if you can't get the edge at 27 that you want.
Maddie, what do you think?
I just want them to hit. I don't care what the position is. I just want them to hit on the first round pick. Like, that's really how low my bar has gotten, right? At the end of the day. Honestly, people are like, I'm going to lose my mind if they get a safety. If they get a safety and they hit on it, does anyone give a rat's ass? Like, how do we think we would have felt like in 81 when they drafted Ronnie Lott and the other, like, 3 rookies, right? We would have been like, what is wrong with them? You think you're going to start 4 rookies? Well, it worked out okay. All right. So, like, I'll take, I don't care what they take as long as they hit it. Don't draft another freaking bust in the first round, right? Don't draft against, like, just, not that that's been a run of them, but, like, you got to get a really good impact player out of there, right? And a lot of teams have. You can do it. So make it work.
I have zero confidence in this front office and drafting. and I told Mike Finn that yesterday. I think we were talking about some trade scenario or whatever. And he's like, is it really worth our 27th pick? I said, at least you know what you're getting at if you traded the 27th for a player, you know what I'm saying, with Lawrence, with the news with him. At least you know what you're getting. I got zero confidence. All right. And, like, I mean, look at the last, we've been saying for the last couple of years now, since we've had a first round pick. All right. This is the year. We got to get a couple players. And I know it's easier said than done, but, you know, you want to follow the Rams, right? That's what they keep saying. We want to follow the Rams. Well, the Rams draft a superstar. We haven't drafted a superstar in years. We got lucky. You know what I'm saying? We got lucky, you know, with 5th round picks. Now I'm going to say it's lucky because think about it. If you're drafting a guy in the 5th round and he becomes a star, you got lucky. You didn't know he's going to be a star in the 5th round, or you would have taken him in the 1st round. So, I mean, they got lucky on, you know, their 5th round picks in the past. And, you know, obviously with Purdy. But I have zero confidence that they're going to land anything on the 27th pick. I mean, and honestly, if you look at last year's draft, did you come away with that draft and say, yeah, they're good. This is a really good draft? Or do you say, all right, we got a couple of starters, but nobody's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that dude's, you know, future is all pro potential. Yeah, people sit there and say Stout good, and he is. But nobody, when you look at our drafts, our last couple of drafts, and you're going to sit there and say, yeah, that dude's got all pro potential. Or, I mean, maybe a couple have Pro Bowl potential, but nowadays they're handing out Pro Bowls, you know what I'm saying, alternates like it's candy. So, I mean, it's, you know, so when the 49ers sit there and say, well, we want to follow the Rams game plan, or even Seattle's, well, yeah, how about you draft like them, okay? Because they know how to draft. We don't.
That's
And
why
now
I think
we're
I had said last week that I think we trade out of the 1st round.
I would like that. Like I said, if we can't get an edge, trade out the 1st.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get that 3rd round pick back and go from there. But we'll see. I mean, zero expectations out of this draft. I'm hoping they can hit on a couple, get 2 starters. Maybe one has potential for Pro Bowl talent. I don't know. I mean, it's all hit or miss. It's a crapshoot. And that's why the Rams had that for years, where you want a draft pick, we'll trade the draft pick for proven players because you know what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ty, what do you think?
I like Tariq and RJ. I like their scouting. I like what they're doing. I like the players that they're pushing up there. I got confidence they'll get somebody good. You know, whether that player gets on the field or not and has time to develop is a totally separate question. Because that's part of the team too. And you know, with this team, that seems to be a problem.
Yeah.
But no matter what direction they're going, you know, I'll just trust the process and, you know, believe in what they do. Draft is a big crapshoot. You just never know. How many first overall picks don't pan out? You don't know. So you just got to see how it plays out.
Yeah, Sin's right. The Rams pretty much say F them picks. You know what?
Well, and By the way, just if you look at the way this draft is set up, they don't have anything after the fourth round or something this year.
Nah.
Tells you what they seem to think of this draft, right? Where the talent levels are.
Yeah. No, I agree with both Ty and Maddie. It's a crapshoot, and need to just hit on something, and once you hit on it, let's utilize it. Stop letting it sit on the sidelines. I'm just going to, like you said, trust the process, take it as it goes. I'm hoping we could get something and move up, but hey, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. And if we get someone good, yes, put him to work. Let's see what he has to offer. I don't want to see him on the bench. Let's see what he's got. Why did you do this? Like, make it worth our while to see why you have this pick. So it's like, watch. It is. That's the best way to describe it. It's a crapshoot. What's going to happen is going to happen, and we just have to wait and see and trust and keep trusting the process as we go along.
Coach, what do you think they do with the wide receiver room? I know they've had a few 30 visits already. They added Mike Evans, they added Christian Kirk. We have Demarcus Robinson, Jacob Cowing, Jordan Watkins, Ricky Pearsall. Some people say that, Ricky Pearsall could be gone. What do you think, Coach?
I heard that story too about Pearsall. It's hard to say what is true and what's bullshit. But I had a call with somebody that knows somebody in the press box that said that Pearsall showed up to one game late in the season and he was supposed to give it a go. And he showed up in street clothes and didn't even give it a go. So it rubbed some people the wrong way on a team. And so that was a rumor that they were looking to trade him. Now, again, I don't know if it's true. The person that talked to me, he does know people within the building. The only reason why I know that is because I've posted couple of things and the 49ers reached out to that person and told me to take it down. So, but I don't know. I personally like Pearsall, and obviously it's the health that's the issue. Obviously, it's not the talent. So if he can stay healthy, and I said this a couple times, to make or break season. And what I meant by that is if they're going to go past his rookie contract. So this is a big year for him. He's going to have to play 15 plus games. And I know we all were pissed off last year. He's constantly injured. Well, he tore ligaments in his knee. And the injury that he had takes 3 to 6 months of rest. And that's why you constantly saw him, if he made a catch, he'd hobble over to the sideline. So he's playing with torn ligaments in his knee, and he's trying to push through. So, we'll see what he can do. I like the wide receiver room with Evans, Pearsall, Kirk. I think that's a really solid trio right there. I don't have faith in Cowing, so I'm not going to hold my breath with him. Watkins, I think, has potential. They liked him in camp before he got injured, right? So we'll see. I think at the end of the season, if these three can stay healthy, you're going to have those three. I think Watkins wins the wide receiver 4 role, and then we'll see how that goes. That would be a real big boost. I do think they're going to draft another receiver. You got a couple of guys with 1-year contracts, so you're going to have to bring somebody else in. I don't think Cowing's it. So I think they need to replace him.
Why don't you think Cowing's it?
I just don't think he's big enough. I don't think he's. I don't think there's much to him. I don't know. Another guy that's got injury issues. So And, I mean, what was concerning with him was it was the hamstring that kept him out a long time. Now, hamstrings can be very, very tricky,
Hmm.
and they can linger. But I mean, he was nothing last year. He wasn't even around. You know what I'm saying? There was no hope like thinking, oh wow, Callum's going to come back at some point this year. He was, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have much hope for him. We'll see though. I mean, love to see him prove me wrong, and then him battle Watkins for the wide receiver 4 role, but we'll see.
All right. So the additions we made in free agency: Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Vidarian Lowe, Brett Toth, Robert Jones, Corliss Waitman, Nate Hobbs, and Osa Odigizua. Kyle Shanahan said at the owners' meetings, I feel good about where the roster is. It was definitely a better offseason, I think, from the year prior. I love where we're at now, and I love the moves that we've made. Coach, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, so the one thing is, people like to say, well, they were really good last year despite all the injuries, right? All right. So now let's say we get healthy, but we're a year older. All right. So yes, we added some key players, and I think that was good. I still left guard's going to be that's an extreme. That's a big concern right there. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not sold on Brendel. I know he was solid last year. Pooney played injured, but he didn't play well. He did the last quarter of the season. But your two guards and your center, I mean, think about it, right? We couldn't even run the ball inside. Look, I mean, when you got to run an option with Juice against Seattle, your interior offensive line is shit if you have to do that with an option with a fullback. Okay. But that just tells you right there what Kyle thinks of his interior line. But they want to save money, and that's where they're going to save money is the offensive line for the most part outside of Trent. I mean, they got a good number on McKivitz. I do like McKivitz. I know he gets shit on a lot, but he's a pretty good player. All right. I mean, yeah, he's going to get beat off the edge 2 times a game, and they're going to be highlighted. But if you think about that, if you're running 35, 37, 38 pass plays, and you're playing against the most athletic player on your opponent, right, is on the end, right? They're bending around the off the side, they're coming down to the quarterback. If you have 38 pass attempts and you get beat twice against a freak athlete, that's pretty freaking good. You know what I'm saying? But we highlight it, we showed a clip. Up, look at McKivitz just got beat. And that's what it is. I mean, he gets a bad name for himself, but he's a pretty damn good lineman. I know he gets, like I said, I know he gets shit on, but he played well last year, and he's just going to get better and better. But again, I mean, the interior line is going to be the issue, and when you're playing against a defense like Seattle, I mean, that's their meat and potatoes is the defensive line. So it's the worst case scenario. You're not going to run. I don't give a shit who they're putting at left guard. You're still not going to run between the tackles and run successfully against Seattle. It is what it is. If they're your two guards and your center, that's what you got. That's what you're going to run. You're going to have to run outside, and that's what it is. That's where we're going to be. I don't, they talked about drafting a guard. Jones is over there. Maybe he'll play okay. But again, I mean, you're still not going to be able to run through the tackle. I don't give a shit who they're putting at left guard. It is what it is. So against Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, John Lynch did say that left guard is going to be a competition. David McNiner wants to know your thoughts on Robert Jones.
Now, I mean, nobody really knows. We have one season of highlights of him, but we'll see. He comes back off an injury, and we're going to see how he is. He's probably, I mean, gun to my head, he's probably going to be starting guard. It is, but again, I mean, I'm not going to, when I saw him, and what I saw in the clips didn't show me that he's going to be some dominant, guard that we're going to run right up his ass. I don't believe that. So we'll see. But regardless, we're going to have to draft an interior offensive lineman. I just don't know what round we're going to get that in.
What about the I forget his name, the guy from Iowa, the one with the mullet.
You know what? Cinder block feet. But yeah, he's strong, but he's slow. He's very slow, and he's not gonna. He wouldn't do well in our zone run scheme. So I don't. They're not. I don't. I would be surprised if they draft them.
Ty, why are you shaking your head?
It's not our system.
No,
Slow
you're
feet,
right.
we
yeah.
don't eat. Like, no. You gotta go.
Yeah.
See ya. Nope. Not gonna work.
Maddie, what do you think?
Same. I don't think it. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
There you go.
Dina, go ahead.
Hey, same. If you're not going to fit, you got to go. No, there's no sense even looking. Not even fit.
No, we know the scheme we run, like Coach brought it up.
Yeah, it's
We need our linemen to pull, move. You know, we
if
like
you're not going to move,
our guys to get to the second level. If you can't move your feet, you're automatically non-fit right
Yeah.
there. So
See ya.
that would be a waste of a draft pick.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
You know, and that's Brendel's one of his few strengths is getting to the second level and making blocks. He struggles against stronger nose guards, stronger defensive tackles, and we see that. That's why they can't run between the tackles. He's very good at getting second levels, getting chips, getting out, and sealing. But like we'll see. I mean, you can't take a slow offensive lineman, obviously, not with how we're running our scheme. But we'll see. And here's another thing: don't be surprised if they give Brendel an extension. It's gonna piss Twitter off, but I mean, he's got another year after this. I mean, he got one more year. This is last year on a contract. But if you see that news, a 1 year extension, I didn't. Nobody told me that. You know what I'm saying? But I can see it. They love him. And I know he's cheap. He knows their offense. They're going to give him another year. That I could see. I'll be totally stunned if they don't give him a 1 year extension at some point.
I will be too, because they really like him.
Yeah. And again,
I
nobody's
know.
talking about it. You don't see anybody. I listen to Barrows talk, Mayako. I listen to them all. Okay. And nobody mentions a 1 year extension. But I'm like, shit. They're going to bring him back. They're going to add another year. I'm telling you, I don't know what's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Kyle trusts him, and that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. He trusts him, so he is a blessing and a curse, in that he knows the offense and he's light on his feet. He can move, but he needs more bricks in his pockets, right?
Yeah.
Hello.
He can get ran over, and we've seen him get ran over on numerous occasions. So it's the blessing and the curse. Kyle will take the strengths over the weaknesses, and that's why we have him there.
Yeah, I mean, one position that we talk about a lot on this show is running back and Christian McCaffrey. How they utilize Christian McCaffrey and how he needs help. What are your thoughts on that? Isaac Orendo, Jordan James. What are your thoughts?
I think they're over Garendo just because he's injury prone. Okay, if he takes a big hit, he's hurt. It's usually a shoulder injury, but I think they're done with him. I think they're really hoping it's going to be James. I think he's going to be the running back too. I mean, I know there's been talk that they're looking to draft a running back. I mean, I think it would be kind of stupid to do that when you only, you know what I'm saying? You don't have any late picks, right? You're going your first, your second, and then your fourth rounders. So, I mean, they've done really well picking up running backs after the draft. I think maybe they'll go that route there, but go with those two there. They're going to run McCaffrey into the ground again. Unfortunately, that's what it's going to be, because he can do everything. He can catch, he can block. So, but we'll see. I mean, add James to the mix and see what you got there. You got a nice 1-2 combo right there. Hopefully with James, we'll see how he is. But
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
thought that they would have. Well, part of me
brought back
thought they would've-
Robinson.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so
Part
did
of
I.
me thought that.
Wouldn't have been
But
the worst thing, but
Mm.
no, it wouldn't have. But it's again, it comes down to utilizing. Like, how would he be used, and probably be the same thing. Um,
Yeah.
Going back to the defense, specifically safety. Your thoughts on that?
Brown sucks. He's better at linebacker as a box linebacker, but I mean, Mustafa's okay. He's a little bit better than Brown, but I think they need to. I think they're, they haven't come out and say, when it's weird because when I hear Lynch talk about Brown on the radio, he gets excited. I don't know what the hell he's excited about, but he likes him. But I think that's the weak spot there out of the two. Now, again, I don't think Mustafa's anything great either, but I think you got to get rid of Brown first. But we'll see. I don't think, I think that I can see them drafting another safety, in the 4th round, but we'll see. I
Well,
mean, they're going to have to bring in competition. They're going to have to do something. If they're going to roll with what we got right now, but you got to bring something in there.
Mm.
Matt
So
Mayoko mentioned possibly safety at 27. What do you think?
it's possible. But again, I mean, it's just so hard.
Yeah.
When you're at 27, you have no idea who's going to fall to you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's just guessing right now. We don't know if it's going to be a receiver that's going to fall. I would say, I said I'd like to see him trade out, but I'm going to say whoever they draft, nobody's really talking about a lot. All right. So that's what I can guess. That's what I'm going to say with this front office. They're going to draft somebody. They're going to be like, damn. All right. He wasn't really talked about too much at 27, but that's what I could say. It could be a safety. It could be an offensive lineman. It could be anything. But like Matt said, just get a fucking player that's going to, that does well. I'm tired of this shit, Draft a good player with talent, not like, okay, he's okay. Collins, okay. TJ West, okay. Williams,
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't getting home. You know what I'm saying? Well, we don't want that. We want a defensive end that's going to set the edge. You're picking the 11th pick in the draft. You better pick, if you're picking an edge rusher, he better get to the goddamn quarterback. Okay? Yes, set the edge, perfect, but he better get there and pressure the quarterback. We didn't get a lot of that from Williams before he got injured. Okay?
Mm.
So we'll see.
My favorite is when a few people I've heard this from that, they would take an edge at 27, and when they would describe whoever it was, it would be like, well, Crisera can coach him up. And it's like, I don't want somebody who has to, well, everybody has to be
They're all
coached,
going to be coached, right?
but like that lacks a lot and has to be coached up. I don't want that at number 27.
Well, that's where you're going to pick at 27. You're going to get think about it, right? Everybody's got their draft board and they got their, I don't know, 10, 12, 13 guys had all right, they're real first round picks. Once you get to pick 27, now you're looking at second, third round in their big board. You know what I'm saying? So 27 isn't really a first round pick in the 49ers mind. It's like, all right, our big boards, these 12 or 13 guys that are most likely going to be gone. What do we have from there? Now we're at our second level, maybe even our third by the time we get to 27. So that's why you could see them trading out, So, I mean, again, defensive end would be nice, but again, we'll see. We're going to see who falls.
Mm.
Switching to the offense, tight end. It's been reported that George Kittle may be back week 1. I don't think so because week 1 they're in Australia. I don't even think he makes the trip. Do you think that they possibly draft a tight end?
I mean, they have Tonjes, but I don't think Kittle's going to be. It's weird when I talked to him through DM. It didn't. I didn't feel like he was confident in being ready for. Again, I'm just again. These are just words when I'm talking to him. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like on the phone where you can get it. Just it didn't feel like I didn't get the vibe that he's going to be ready week 1. But I mean, I'm not expecting him week 1. I can see Pup. It's funny because they said what they're hopeful, right? Think about that. Just listen to the words that they use, and you can understand where they're coming from. I mean, think about it, right? I post that shit. John Lynch they're hopeful that that George Kittle will be ready for week 1. Oh wow, he's hopeful week 1. Well, we're all hopeful, right? We're all hopeful for what I'm saying. But I mean, again, when I talked to him through DM, I didn't get that vibe that you just. And again, I've only talked. I mean, I talk to him every year, but usually when I talk to him through there, it's no, we're good, we got this. You'll see. You know what I'm saying? It was like that, but when I talked about the injury, it didn't feel like. You know what I'm saying? Now again, it was the beginning phases when he just got out of the boot, but I just didn't. I didn't feel like the confidence was there. But again, hey, it's just through DM, and it could be anything. But I mean, like I said, Pop, I wouldn't be surprised if he's put on Pop.
Well, tell him his biggest fan says hello.
Who? What?
His biggest fan.
Yeah.
Tell him his biggest fan says hello.
Oh,
Tell him yourself.
it's funny. Who used to be a talker was Lenore until his account got friggin' hacked.
Mhm.
I would talk to him during a season, no lie, 3-4 times a week. He was all the way through. When they were doing negotiations and shit, I said, listen, before they even started, I said, this is how they run shit. Okay. This is what they're going to offer you. And I'm telling you right now, this is what positions they're going to look at. They're going to look at you as a nickel cornerback. Okay. They're going to offer you $6 to $8 million a year. And that's what's going to do. We're going to start. And he had DM me. He's like, what do you say? He said, motherfucker, you were right on there. He said, that's exactly what they offered. He goes, I said, I'm telling you right now. I said, don't you dare take less than $12 million a year. I said, don't you dare. He goes, and at one point he was so pissed. He goes, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I don't want it. I can go to Washington, get 20 million. I said, yeah. And then you're going to get your ass kicked by the Eagles twice a year, making 20 million a year. I said, you can get more on the market, but I said, be careful what you're taking, and look at your, do you want to win or do you want to get paid out the ass? And a lot of people sit there and they were like, oh, the 49ers, they signed him during the season. That shit started at the end of March. All right. And I'm telling you, he was pissed. And he's pissed if he's DMing me out of nowhere. I swear to God, you motherfucker is what he would say. They're not giving me anything close to what I want. I'm like, I told you. I'm like, that's what they're pricks when it comes to money. And and just like Kittle said, it's like getting your teeth, what we say, getting braces when you're dealing with them with contracts. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And then it's better once they come off. It's not an enjoyable experience when you're dealing with the 49ers with their contracts. And we've seen that several times in training camp.
Wow.
Yeah, I just realized one free agent that I forgot to mention is Dre Greenlaw. What do you think about Dre Greenlaw coming back?
I mean, we're all, when you see Greenlaw, we're expecting to see 2023 Dre Greenlaw, right? That's what we all have in our memory. Okay. Are we going to get 2023 Dre Greenlaw? Before he came back, I DM'd Javi. I said, I just hope I said, we're probably going to get him back. I said, I just hope he's not a shell of himself. So that, I mean, injuries, when you get leg injuries, I mean, listen, Denver's Denver's really good, right? And they know he couldn't even, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't get out there. And he had injuries before he started camp. He had injuries during camp, and he wasn't himself. He did say he felt better, by the third quarter of the season. So he started feeling better. But I mean, we're lucky though. We do have a couple linebackers behind him if he's got an injury or setback. You know what I'm saying? So we do have that there. I mean, it's going to be cautiously optimistic for Dre Greenlaw. If we, like I said, if we get 2023 Dre Greenlaw, then we hit a home run. Then they'll give him a multi-year extension. We just got to see. We're going to see, if there's any kind of leg injuries coming with him. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind him, I really like D Winters and Nick Martin.
We didn't see Nick Martin really a couple times. He's a big hitter, but we'll see how he is. It's concerning that he had the concussion that lasted, what was it? I think it's like 2 months or something. It was like something long, right? He finally got cleared at the end after the season.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how Winters is. I mean, that's another one. These guys really do look on social media. They really do. And it's funny, I posted something about him, but he couldn't cover worth a shit or something. And minutes after I posted that, he comes crying in my DMs. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, look, man, I'm not going to take it down. He goes, what are you putting this? I said, listen, dude, I'm like, are these numbers not right? I'm like, look at the numbers. I'm like, this is what I got. This is what the touchdowns you let up and all that. And he goes, fine. I'm like, listen, I said, you know what, dude, just do your thing and you'll be fine. And he had a big game that I swear to God, it was the next week. And he DM'd me and he goes, see that? You like that shit? I was like, look, man. I'm like, I appreciate I could light a fire under your ass. I said, but, keep it up. And I posted about him and gave him a couple of pro posts, but these guys, they do pay attention to what is said about them. I'll tell you that. They bookmark that shit and they know. So just be careful what you guys say online because they will search your name and they will see who says what.
What are your thoughts on Oso Digizua?
I mean, I think it's a good trade. He's going to get to the quarterback, something that we've been lacking. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I like it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to sit there and say, we got a monster inside. I don't know. I'm not going to say that yet, but I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic with him as well. I could see 6 sacks, 7 sacks, but again, I don't give a shit about sacks. It's more about pressures. Can he get to the quarterback? Because a lot of times once you flush the quarterback out of the pocket, now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? You got Bosa on one side chasing him down. So, I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and throw gaudy numbers out there and expect him to be incredible. I think he's going to be a hell of a lot better than what we had last year. But then again, I mean, we could, we were pretty pathetic on the defensive line. So,
all right, 2 last ones from me. A name that has come up again, Myles Garrett. And then
it's not happening. That's good talk, though.
And then a name that popped up this week, Dexter Lawrence.
How much money are you going to throw on, on the interior line? You know what I'm saying? You just made a trade for one, right? And you want to bring him in. Then you just drafted 2 interiors. And then you got Williams that can bump inside, right, on passing downs. I mean, yes, sounds great. Listen, all these freaking posts are great, right? That we flip up. Trade scenarios. That's great. Listen, this time of year, it's great because these are the dead periods, right? And it gives people something to talk about. But it's not realistic. We're not going to get him. Just like we were never going to get Max Crosby. Hey, it was great to throw up a picture of Max Crosby in a friggin' Niners jersey, right? Post about that. We all knew he would come here. Raiders fans hate my guts because I used to put that shit out there. I posted, mute. Posted, mute. I don't give a shit, right? Gets the followers like, oh yeah, Max Crosby, he's going to come to San Fran. No, he's not. But It's just, it's off season talk. It gets you by until training camp. But no, so no, Lawrence will not come. Garrett's not going to come. We'll add through the draft, and then we'll see. We'll go from there.
Ty, what do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting all of them. Shit. Hey, I've been all in because Twitter told me that we're getting Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Max Crosby. We're getting him. So why not add Sexy Dexy? And who else can we add? I mean,
Joey
we can
Bosa.
add all of them. Joey Bosa too.
It's Madden.
For him.
It's Madden is what it is. All Twitter's
We're
like
getting all of
Madden,
them.
right? That's the
All of
mentality.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maddie, what do you think?
I would love to see it happen, but I'm a realist. And I don't ever expect anything good like that to happen, right? Would it be awesome to have Nick Bosa and Myles Garrett on each side of each other? Yes. And rotate other guys in? Yes. Just for one season, because that's probably all you can make it work for under the cap. Absolutely. Would be great. Do I want to trade 3 first-round picks for him? Probably not. People need to slow their roll on that.
Mhm.
Let's just calm down slightly, right? But would I love to see it? Sure. Will it ever happen? No. If it does, we'll probably win the Super Bowl that year, like that. But it probably won't happen because that's just not how you can team build in this generation of the NFL.
Dina, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of off-season chatter. It's just to get you going and hear stuff. I don't fall for it. Now, yeah, to Maddie's point, if Garrett came on board, that would be awesome. Could it happen? Will it happen? I don't think so. But, this is all off-season talk right now, just to keep everybody motivated and, get your heart rate going when you see something, jump up on a feed and you're like, ooh, and it's like, oh, please. I can't get into it. Like I said, my mind switched to baseball until after the draft. And then I'll start paying attention a little bit, and then we get into June, and then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll start listening. But right now, no, I'm tired of seeing the nonsense, like Joey Bosa coming. Oh, what are the prospects of that? Who cares? If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What are we going to do after the draft? Let's wait until the draft and see what is going on after that. Right now, it's all useless chatter to me. And I like I said, it's like watching a soap opera. Will they add Joey Bosa in? Will Garrett come? And it's just like, please.
Yeah, listen to this guy in the comments. And we're still adding Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase to the wide receiver room.
If it's on Twitter, it must be true. Just saying.
Last one before we let you go, Coach. Are we sure Bosa will return as Bosa?
Ooh.
Yeah. He's recovered from this injury multiple times. He'll be fine. Now, will it happen again? That I can't say.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, don't you guys remember when he came off the injury and during 2020 he got the injury, right? Then 2021 he was really good. So you're going to see the same thing. Yeah, he's going to be a year older, but he's still going to he'll be dominating off the edge. But again, will he have another injury like that again? That
Right.
we don't know.
Right.
What do you guys think, Ty?
I said the same thing Coach said weeks ago. He's been here before. He knows how to come off this thing. Last time he had an ATL, following season, he had 15 sacks. He was wrecking shit. Like, if there's anyone who knows how to bounce back from his injury, it's him. And his genetic makeup helps that. We all see how he's built. He's not a thin-legged man. I'll put it like that. You know, he's built for this. So I have no issues in thinking that he won't be the same, or at least be an effective, you know, 3-down lineman as he is. And he actually works on his craft too. He's not a one-trick pony. Let's remember that. He actually works on being a 3-down defensive lineman. So I'm totally fine with Nick Bosa. I think he'll return to form.
What do you think, Dina?
Yeah, I think he'll come back strong or stronger and be ready to rock and roll. Am I worried about his injury? Yeah. But as long as he's not and he's ready to rock and roll, hey, let it happen. I'm ready for him.
Manny?
We'll see. Right? We'll just see. At the end of the day, we can talk about it all day. We'll just see.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Coach Yak, thank you so much for coming on. It was fun.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, sir.
Continue posting everything. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
that's tied to the team, I try to get out there, and I'll let you all argue over what is being said. But,
All right,
Yeah.
good stuff. Have a good night.
all right, have a good night, everyone.
Yeah.
See you,
Take care.
You. Jersey in the house.
Woohoo! All right. Let's go to that 2-minute warning. And Ty, you're up.
15 days until the draft. Oh, what exciting times.
Yep.
Expect a lot of freaking out until then. So enjoy that. I'm out.
Dina?
Yeah. Anxious to see what happens at the draft. Let's just stay calm. Try to do something else and get ready for it. And then we can start to talk a little bit more, you know? Yeah.
Well, people will also be freaking out during the draft, of course.
yeah.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are great. Thank you to Coach Yak. Pretty cool having you on. Also, my thoughts. Dre Greenlaw back. Mike Evans takes less money. Odigizua trade. Raheem Morris. We're one win away from the number 1 seed, 2 games away from the Super Bowl, and Bosa and Fred are coming back. Good stuff right there.
Excellent.
Maddie?
I agree with what Joe said. Also, before we start flaming people online for their whatever's going on, please look at the history of the 49ers head coaches doing some of the same things. So don't just start flaming stuff out there. Learn a little history, guys. And you sound like asses. Just stop. You're attacking people. It's terrible out there. Internet's a tough world right now. Stay off it, unless you're watching this show.
Exactly. All right. That does it for us. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Go Niners.
See you, everybody.
See ya.
That is not the video.
And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone.